Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be giving you kind of my first impressions, going back into TBC, got into the TBC Beta. So I'm going to be going over, Shadowstep for a bit, talking about, some of the new specs in Mutilate and some of the Shadowstep specs, talking about some bugs in TBC that I was hoping weren't going to be there, that are, were bugs in Classic, and I was hoping they'd be fixed come TBC. Some things in TBC that you kind of forgot were in the game. Updated spells, stuff like that, and just some of the bugs I'm seeing, and kind of give you an idea of, what's going on the beta. So the first thing I want to talk about is Shadowstep. Now, Shadowstep is behaving super weird. So you can see here, I'm going to Shadowstep, and you're going to see I'm facing the wrong way, right? So all I did was press Shadowstep while moving forward and trying to ambush this guy. And you're going to see I was facing the wrong way, and I started running away from the pig, and I obviously didn't Shadowstep ambush him. Right now, I've played retail, and on retail this is not a thing, and I don't remember if this is how it worked in TBC, but the main thing I'm running into with Shadowstep that makes it very awkward is it doesn't seem to turn you if you are controlling your character's screen, like the camera, as you Shadowstep. So the next one I'm going to do on this pig, you're going to see I'm like hands off the keyboard, just clicking Shadowstep, and you're going to see that it's going to change my camera to face the right direction, right? And especially if this pig is standing still, you're going to see that if I'm not moving at all and I'm not turning my screen, Shadowstep ambush, nice and simple, right? Exactly what you'd expect. The problem is if the target is moving, Shadowstep puts you behind the target, but sometimes out of range by the time you get to them, right? So that's a little bit concerning. Another thing you're going to notice is PvP trinket works, on a lot of stuff in TBC, right? So this guy, even though I'm hitting him right now, he can PvP trinket everything. So that's a whole nother meta shift we'll talk about later. But sorry, we got distracted by a gnome there. Oh, we got another one. Sorry guys, trying to focus on the video here. I didn't even need to prep. Okay, sorry about that guys. Let me see if I can relocate a little bit away from the distractions. You're gonna see there I was able actually to Shadowstep hit him okay. It's one of the first experiences in PvP I've had where Shadowstep actually worked. But you're gonna see here, right, all I want to do is just Shadowstep ambush the pig, and it's just not fluid, right? You see I Shadowstep, and then I have to turn my camera. So that's the biggest thing that is kind of a frustration, kind of a concern. I really hope this is a bug. Again, I don't remember original TBC. I hope that's not a bug. If it turns out it's not a bug and that's intended, what that's essentially going to mean is you're going to have to be very careful how you turn your camera and very careful with your movement before a Shadowstep. So for example here, if I'm moving, I stop pressing everything, right? I can cleanly Shadowstep ambush this mob if I stop moving and if I stop turning my camera. I just don't know in the heat of battle if that's going to be something that's really going to be realistic to just stop, moving anything with your, WASD and turning. So that's the big thing about Shadowstep. The main concern with Shadowstep is that you want to be able to Shadowstep into kidney and be behind the target every time, quick, fluid, Shadowstep kidney, Shadowstep cheap shot, and even while someone's mounted running by, you want to be able to Shadowstep and very quickly and cleanly be able to get off, your ability so that you're behind them so you can't be dodged, parried, everything like that. But besides that, Shadowstep has been so much fun. As you can see here, I was playing a Shadowstep ambush build, and oh man, was it fun. You can see some of the talents here are crazy, right? I was using in subtlety, Master of Subtlety, which gives you 10% damage as you break stealth and for 6 seconds after. I was using Deadliness, which gives you 10% attack power. Sinister Calling, which gives you 15% agility. And then, of course, Shadowstep increases the damage of your next ability by 20%. So all these things combined led to huge ambush damage. So I really had a ton of fun playing an ambush dagger-based build with Shadowstep. Now, this is, again, something that's probably going to get worse as people get more resilience, as people get tankier, because it's a full burst, setup. And resilience obviously reduces the damage you take from crits and reduces your chance to be crits. So this is a particularly poor build against resilience, not something that should be dominating the arena. But I found like an improved ambush build with Shadowstep to be super fun. And I spec'd around leveling and stuff too to see if it would level pretty well. And so far that's been going pretty well too. Beyond that, I played Mutilate. Mutilate was super fun. I thought it was very enjoyable to level with as well. Was really impressed by Mutilate. The 50% increased damage when the target's poisoned is really important. You're going to have to change up the poison to use while leveling. You can't really use instant poison because the target needs to be poisoned. So you can use something like wound poison, crippling poison, deadly poison, some combination of those. And really was just impressed by how much fun Mutilate was. The animation's cool. Seal Fate is just a really fun talent as well. So all in all, really enjoyed playing Mutilate. Besides that, just general impressions, first impressions, things that come to mind. There was a lot of bugs. The game did feel pretty buggy. Felt it was very common to see weird stuff going on. Respawns were very quick, and a lot of mobs instantly after they'd respawn would immediately aggro onto you. So that was something I noticed that was kind of weird, especially since stuff was respawning really fast. I mean, it immediately aggroing onto you kind of sucked in a couple situations. You're going to see that here. Besides that, there's cast bars were off and we're not showing the spell that was being cast, especially with NPCs. And sometimes it would show a cast bar for a mob that wasn't casting anything. So that was a little bit off. When it comes to Rogue, Cheat Death was bugged and didn't seem to be working. It seemed like the part of Cheat Death that prevents you from getting killed by a fatal blow was working, but the damage reduction did not seem to be doing anything. So that was weird. You also had combo points were not moving cross targets. So in TBC, you're supposed to be able to build combo points on one target, look at a different target, and look back at the first target and still have combo points. You shouldn't lose all of your combo points just for clicking off of an enemy. And that is something that was happening. Unfortunately, you'd lose all of your combo points right as you change targets. So besides those bugs, there's also some bugs, still there that were present in, Classic. I was seeing my kidney shot was still turning enemies sometimes, and there's also issues where the direction the mob was facing wouldn't always match where their back is in terms of trying to backstab and trying to mutilate specifically after stunning them or gouging them. So unfortunately, that bug is still present. Also, Vanish, while it was a lot cleaner, I still had Vanish break from auto attacks way less frequently. So Vanish feels a lot better to use in that way, but I still had my Vanish break, unfortunately. So that's not perfect either. Past, bugs and stuff, just stuff that is different in TBC. For Rogue, a big one is Blind. Blind is a 3-minute cooldown, and you can talent it down to 1.5 minutes. I'm sure many of you that are big into Arena are aware of how good that is to have a 1.5 minute blind. So that's really crazy. Blind is also not a poison anymore. It's physical. So you can't blind a paladin while they have Blessing of Protection. But also you can't have your blind dispelled, and you can't have Stone Form removing your blind either. So that's a big shift. Poison duration is nice as well. All of your poisons last an hour now, and some of the poisons are easier to actually make. It requires less materials you buy from the vendor, so it's just less clicking, which is nice. But back to Blind real quick. Blind doesn't cost you any blinding powder anymore, which is super sick. And also, a big thing about Blind that people talked about is blind missing. And I don't know if blind missing, it's physical. I don't know if it scales with defense or what it's supposed to scale with, or if it's just a flat chance. but it did not seem to be a very significant factor. I was playing for quite a while, doing a ton of PvP, ton of fighting. I had one blind resist, over the course of many hours, right? It didn't seem to be a big factor. So we'll see if that might be something maybe private servers had wrong, because a lot of people I've talked to were expecting blind to be resisting a lot. Maybe it'll change at 70, maybe it'll change with resilience or defense, or maybe something affects that, but it did not seem as though that was much of a factor at all. Other stuff you'll notice pretty quickly is in the subtree, there's a talent that reduces the energy cost of your sap. That feels amazing. It took like 8 seconds to regenerate the energy that it costs you to sap in Classic. So if you ever sapped anything and you wanted to open up with like full energy on a separate target, like you had to wait quite a while to be at your full energy, so it getting cut in half from 65 energy down to 32.5 energy now actually feels really good when you talent into that. Another thing that is huge is, your evasion can actually help against hunters now at range. Gives you a new rank of evasion, gives you a 25% chance to avoid ranged attacks as well. So that's pretty cool. You're going to notice just a lot of things are tweaked a little bit. I was playing my orc. Not only was my orc racial nerfed, that gives me the stun resist. So when you fight orcs, they're going to resist you less. But Blood Fury is off the global cooldown. So you might notice, some abilities like that might be off the global cooldown. When you guys get into the beta or pre-patch, just as you're playing, you'll notice some stuff like that. When it comes to Trinket, the Trinket changes a lot. The PvP trinket now can remove anything, and that means that your blind can be trinketed, your sap can be trinketed. The biggest one you're going to notice is people are going to be trinketing your blind now, whereas before, no trinket could remove it. So that just changes, how it's being played. So that's pretty exciting. Just a lot of matchups are very different, and it can be pretty exciting, back and forth, quick trinket action. So, fun new stuff to learn. But, that's really, the majority of the changes. You're going to see stuff like on your mini map, you're going to see quests now, where to pick up quests, where to turn in quests, with indicators. You also can, on the mini map, look for trainers, look for, mailbox, flight master. There's a lot of little things. And I might do a whole video on what changes in TBC for Rogue as well pretty soon here. But those are just my first impressions. It was a lot of fun. Mutilate was sick. I was surprised how much fun I thought Mutilate was. Just a really, really cool ability, and really had a lot of fun with Shadowstep daggers. Those are the two specs I played the most. I did play combat swords, but it's combat swords. Nothing to write home about there, right? Just a really good leveling spec. But yeah, very excited for TBC, and look forward to more TBC content here on the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.